Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to Lakeburg Legacies. When we left off in the previous episode, we had a new marriage and a dangerous crush. Basically, Marie Bonnet over here introduced a new bloodline into the kingdom. She established her own house. She is our baker, which is very exciting for us. She works all the way, oh geez, this is not what I wanted. She works all the way down here. So across this little bridge from the mason's workshop, past the sewing workshop, she kind of operates as our one and only baker, and now we have bread in the kingdom. She went ahead and married Brynja Townsend, Brynja, who works as the mason. So their arrival helped us out a ton because masonry is going to allow us to have stone, and that's going to enable us to build more buildings, because I'm pretty sure a lot of the buildings from now on are going to require the stone. So yes, we're very thankful to have them with us. They were an average pairing, but their marriage, I think, was kind of, budding, because Brynja was being really attentive to Marie. Marie was starting to trust Brynja a lot, and I think she still does. Both of them are kind and romantic, which is, when you think about it, sweet. However, some drama started not that long into the Bonnet family being started, because while Marie was working over in the bakery, Brynja and Slavomir from the Olwen family, Slavomir who works at the hunter's cabin, they started meeting like in the middle here and getting to know each other where the chickens are pecking, and now Brynja and Slavomir have a crush on one another. Poor Marie has no idea any of this is taking place. She is thinking that everything is going smoothly between herself and her husband. And Slavomir only recently had a baby boy with his wife Beatrice, who works at the Lumberjacks Lodge, a son by the name of Chris. So I don't know what's going on. Now, I realize that if Slavomir and Brynja have a crush on each other, it's not just Marie who's in a bad position, it's Beatrice as well. But for some reason, I view Beatrice as a really independent type of woman who probably doesn't need a whole lot of attention from Slavomir. She is known as the most beautiful person in Lakeburg, and Slavomir honestly can't get enough of his wife, so I'm a bit surprised that he even developed a crush outside of his marriage. But Beatrice, I feel like she's got already a lot going for her, and she maybe doesn't get I wouldn't say a sense of validation from her husband, but I feel like it's like she's so beautiful she could find someone else, But for Marie, who's getting really attached to Brynja and trying to make this marriage work, I feel really bad. I feel like she's completely left in the dark. So we're gonna have to see how all of that pans out. I'm not impressed with Slavomir, but I'm especially not impressed with Brynja. What is Brynja doing? Totally did not expect that. But so far we have a vacancy in the sewing workshop. We do have some bartering to do. We want to get some recruitment done. I'm excited to see who the next couple we introduce into Lakeburg is going to be. So let's go ahead and take a look. Right, we can give some meat for the gold. We're gonna go ahead and do that. And then for recruitment, let's take a look. So these are the options we have. We have Bjorn, who is 21 years old. He's a peasant. He can be a prankster, fisherman, a seamster. We don't have a vacancy in the sewing work. No, we do, don't we? We have a vacancy in the sewing workshop. Perfect. And then we have Ombeline. Ombeline? She's 25 years old. She can be a lumberjack, carpenter, butcher. So if anything, we'd have to open up a slot at the Lumberjacks Lodge. But I think we have, the sewing workshop is empty. We actually need a seamster. So we're gonna get Bjorn Stonegate. Okay, we'll recruit him. So there we have it. We have Bjorn with us. Excellent. Bjorn, you are going... Oh, let's take a look at him a little bit closer. Okay, this is a terrible person. This is a terrible, terrible person. So he is a coward. He's mean and he's lazy. Oh my goodness. I feel so terrible for whoever's going to marry this guy. But he is smart, so at least, hopefully he's going to pass on some good genes to his children. But yeah, seamster is one of the occupations he has potential for. And then in terms of his likes and dislikes, he likes public executions, dueling, and muscles. Okay, seems like a bit of a rough and tumble sort of guy. And I'm kind of surprised that he likes dueling and public executions given the fact that he is a coward. Maybe he likes talking big, or he likes engaging in these kind of things when he has the advantage. As soon as he goes up against someone that he's, outmatched by, then he basically turns tail and runs away. He dislikes divination, the countryside, and kittens, so he doesn't like fluffy things. I feel like Lakeburg life might be a bit difficult for him for now, because, we're still in the early stages. As it becomes more and more like a city, he might enjoy it more, and he doesn't like talking about fate. Okay, intriguing. Well, let's go ahead, get you to work in the sewing workshop as our seamster. Excellent. Now we're going to have some clothes that we're going to start producing. How exciting. And then let's get you married off so that your spouse can establish her own house. I feel so bad for whoever his wife is going to be, but let's take a look to see who he gets. Okay. Our first bad affinity. Our first bad affinity? Who is this? Raymonda. She's 24 years old. She's a little bit older than him and artisan. She's from a higher class. She's boring, mean, and a coward. I mean, they have something to bond over. Terrible, terrible personalities. Okay, she can be a baker, innkeeper, butcher, so if anything, would have to open up another baking slot. Okay, a seamster and a baker. Fascinating. She likes the countryside, silver and gold meditation. She doesn't like poetry, fishing, and dueling. Okay, so they have things to kind of disagree about. They've got a lot of things to disagree about. So this marriage, if it ends up being a thing, might not actually last that long. But let's see how this goes. I mean, he might screw up the date, and then we wouldn't have to worry about it anyways. But okay, here we go. Do we want to say they're going to start off with a boat ride on the lake? Flowers are pointless, or mention the nice countryside around Lakeburg. We're going to mention the nice countryside. I think she likes the countryside. Bjorn and Raymonda adore the countryside. Oh, what a liar. It's so vivid. They should go and take a walk around Lakeburg one of these days. Okay, and then we're going to enjoy the hill by moonlight. We can talk about the benefits of meditation to focus on present moments, or say money creates more problems than it solves. We're going to talk about money being a problem. Raymonda still thinks life is easier when you've got silver, gold, and diamonds. Rubies are a plus. Okay, and then this might be the make or break. Ask if the cards provided Raymonda insight into their future, or recite a poem. He's going to go ahead and recite a poem. Roses are red, violets are blue. I live in a small shed and I really love you. That's so funny. Because he's like homeless right now. Considering Raymonda's disdainful face, Bjorn will probably stay alone in that shed of his. This might be a fail, but I think it might be good for us. And, wait, what? It's a match? It's a match? I thought it was going to be a fail. Okay. Well, this might be some exciting new drama. Because up until this point, we have not had a bad match. We've had average matches, we've had excellent matches that I think have gone on to become perfect matches. We haven't had any bad matches. But Bjorn and Raymonda Keller, there we go. Well, Raymonda Keller, let's go ahead and have you, let's see. Yeah, she wants to be a baker. We need to open up a baking slot for her. She has a bad relationship with her husband. Not too surprising. Not too surprising. They have terrible... This household would be like a terrible household to live in, I feel like. But okay, we're going to open up a baking slot. So she is going to be in her element. There's no ambience here just yet. We'll have to see whether Raymonda and Marie get along. I think, yeah, the bakery... we have a couple working in the farm, and the ambience is, bad. Oh, that's right. When we left off, guys, I'm pretty sure our farmers, they ended up falling into a loveless marriage. Like, I think their marriage has actually become loveless after the birth of their son. Maybe the strain of looking after a little one is making it so that they're having even, more miscommunication, which already was a thing in the beginning. That's not good. So this couple is not doing too well. I want to see, because I was going to say that the ambience in the farm seemed pretty good, and I'm hoping the bakery ambience is also good and that these two kind of get along well with each other, Marie and Raymonda, because in the Lumberjack's Lodge and the Hunter's Cabin, like those two couples are having a grand time, kind of, but they don't get along well with their colleagues. Okay, well, let's go ahead. We are going to... Oh yeah, Bjorn and Raymonda, they have a loveless marriage, like straight out of the gate. Okay, well, they're gonna be... I suppose they're not really neighbors with the others. Yeah, they're not really neighbors with the others because I imagine these 4 houses are in like one district, and then the next 4 houses are in like a different district. So they're not neighbors with anyone just yet. But we'll get them to build a house, establish their own family. So we have the Keller family with a baker and a... Was it seamster? Yeah, a baker and a seamster. Okay, so he really married up because she is an artisan class and she's gonna stay in the artisan class. Fascinating. Okay, well, why don't we go ahead, let them kind of get things going and see kind of what happens if we can get any other buildings made. But also, I want to try and keep an eye on, in a second, to see if anything's happened in the Keller family within the house. So, you know, I'm actually curious, how have the relationships changed? In the Denon family, they have excellent affinity so far. So that's good. The Korb family has bad affinity. Yeah, that's right. So they've been arguing a lot, not getting along well. They have just really bad affinity. This has gone down. So yeah, I think having a son has really strained them. The Olwen family, they have excellent affinity. Despite the fact that Slavomir has this beautiful wife he can't get enough of, he now has a crush with, you know, the Mason, but even then, it hasn't affected his relationship in the house. And then these guys, the Bonnet family, they actually have a good affinity, even if... So the farmers are like the worst off right now, the farmer couple. Yeah, these two, they're okay. Brynjar's looking elsewhere, doing stuff behind Marie's back, but still, they seem to be okay. And then, of course, the Keller family, they are in a loveless marriage. Huh. Okay, well, let's have time go by a little bit. It's 25th of June, year 9, and we'll see what else kind of happens within our village. Okay, so Raymonda and Marie have met. Oh no, don't tell me they don't get along and they don't like each other. Oh yikes. Oh no. I wanted our bakers to get along. Our bakers don't even like each... I mean, to be fair, I can kind of see why. Marie is kind, romantic. She's basically really sweet. And Raymonda is, like, terrible. She's mean. She's a coward. Like, look at this. She's kind, romantic. The only thing she has is, like, being indecisive. But then you have Raymonda, who is, like, boring, mean, and a coward. So she probably is someone who, like, complains all the time, makes work really miserable. So I can see why they don't get along too well. Also, something I noticed, I mentioned this in one of the earlier episodes, but you know how I said that careers can sometimes change? Either they change their positions or they change entirely, like the rankings, the potential careers, it can change entirely. I have noticed that already with some of our characters. And in the beginning, like, I don't think I'll switch careers for them. I'll leave them in the careers they are, but I assigned them careers based on whether or not they had potential. And basically, if they don't have potential, they will stay unemployed within my kingdom until we can find them somewhere they want to work. But obviously, as their skills grow and change, that might also shift. Oh, really quickly before I forget, the granary. Well, look at that. We're making so much leather. We need to increase our leather stocks, or our storage for that. Okay. But with Teresa, she still wants to be a lumberjack, so she's kind of in her perfect career. Loop, who, he's still in his career, he wants to be a hunter, which is fine. Colette is a farmer, she still wants to be a farmer. Now, Eberolf, he also wants to be a farmer, so that's okay. And some of these careers, I know, like, he could be a hunter. He wants to be a hunter the most, and we do have facilities for that, but we had an opening as a farmer, so it made more sense to put him in that. And Beatrice is doing okay as a lumberjack. She's like in her ideal career. Slavomir is in his ideal career as a hunter. Marie. So Marie has had a change. When Marie came in the first time, she wanted to be a baker, which is why we made her a baker, and she's going to stay in that profession, right? But since then, she has kind of shifted her, what I'm calling aspirations, even though I know this is like up here, the aspiration, and then, you know, this is like potential careers based on skills and personality, all those kind of stuff. But I like viewing it a little bit differently, as in this is kind of what they want. When she came into Lakeburg, in my head, she wanted to be a baker, and that's the life she's been living, right? But she and Brynja, unexpectedly, have been having some problems, which in her household she can't see it, and everything's perfect from her perspective. But I think we were talking about how the bakery is like in the other direction from the hunter's cabin, and Brynja's workshop is like in the middle here. So even if he goes to meet with Slavomir, Marie won't be able to tell. And there's like a whole sewing workshop between them. Well, maybe some people have been talking, and those rumors have kind of reached Marie, and even though Marie can't see it, she's a little bit worried about their marriage. And so in my head, the whole reason she wants to now become like a farmer instead is because she wants to work basically closer to the mason's workshop so she can kind of keep an eye on her husband and their marriage. That's kind of what I have going on in my head. She's going to stay at the bakery, of course. That's her life path. But yeah, I feel like now that she's working in the bakery, she's becoming a bit insecure. And because of her indecisive nature, she's kind of wondering whether it would have been better had she worked at the farm so she could have stayed closer to Brynja. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Brynja is still okay as a mason, and Raymonda and Bjorn just came in to become like a baker and a seamster. And do they really have that big of an age gap between them? Oh wow. Raymonda is almost a decade older than Bjorn. In fact, they have the same age gap that Beatrice and Slavomir have, I'm pretty sure. How interesting. How very interesting. Okay, well, that is good to know. But Brynja and Marie are in love. Okay, so the Bonnet family is going okay. I suppose he hasn't been doing much with the crush right now. I think a new family has come in. She's been having a rough time at the bakery, getting along well with Raymonda, who was like a nightmare. And so he has been spending more time with her, and they're in love now. She probably appreciates him a ton. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, let's keep going a little bit, see what more we can cover. Okay, we're still getting some more resources, and yeah, Raymonda and Marie dislike each other. They do not like one another. Yeah, they do not like one another. Raymonda, she doesn't have the best opinion of Marie. She probably thinks Marie's a pushover, to be honest. And Marie does not like Raymonda. She thinks Raymonda is just a really rude and terrible person. Ay. It would be nice. It would be nice to have a workplace where someone can actually get along well and be friends. And they're probably so grateful that they don't live in the same district and they don't have to see each other's faces. Okay, so we're gonna give 9 vegetables for 71 gold. I think that's okay. We have an excess of food. Okay, let's keep going a little bit more. Oh, okay, we have an event. Conflict of interests. Winter was particularly harsh this year. Harvests are bad, and the prices of resources are on the rise. So this is with our farmer, Colette Korb, and our baker, Raymonda Keller, the new baker. They're of a similar age. Colette's 33 years old now, and Raymonda's 30. Let's have a look. Okay, Colette and Raymonda are having an argument over the price of wheat. How could we solve this sticky situation? We can threaten, and something could happen. Or we could negotiate. We'll get plus 15 wheat, and then both of them will be charmed. Colette will be charmed, and Raymonda will be confident. I think we want to negotiate. I don't want to ruin relationships any more than they already are. So we're going to go and negotiate. With her oratory skills and unparalleled charisma, Raymonda succeeded in convincing Colette to reduce her prices. Okay, so a deal was made, and then we have another event. Oh no! Oh my goodness! Guys, this is our first divorce. Our first divorce. Okay, to love and to leave. After a seemingly never-ending marriage, Colette and Eberolf decided to break up and go their separate ways on their own. Okay, so Colette and Eberolf have broken up. That means, they're gonna be heartbroken for a little bit here. Hold on a second. Now they're exes. Yeah, they're gonna be heartbroken. It also means that, yeah, Colette is obviously gonna have custody of her son. So she's gonna keep her son with her because the women run the households. That means Eberolf no longer has a house over his head. He is single and he is homeless. So he is actually gonna have to marry in someone else in order to, have a home, because literally he has no sense of security now. And Colette might want to marry someone as well so that Valerius can have a stepfather. And this will kind of be a good way for us to get, some new people, but continue to get new people into Lakeburg. But okay, that was a bit dramatic. That was a bit dramatic for sure. He was not expecting that entirely, at least not from the Korb family. But okay, guys. With that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.